And so I'm going to do a little, I got a little breakdown of what's to come in January. And then I want to touch on a little bit about goal setting, and then kind of do a quick tutorial on how to create a spreadsheet, a working spreadsheet document that will last the entire year. And I feel like that's something that we all need to do and use through Google Sheets, Google Drive, and I can make it and then I can send it to people so that way you can see, anybody that doesn't get on the call, or if you have to jump off or whatever, you'll at least be able to go back through. And I'm just going to keep going. So if you have to jump off, no big deal, type it into the comments, and then we'll just keep rolling. So I'm going to screen share. And so today, a little bit about goal setting. So very important. And I want to do a vision board call next week, or at least something about vision boards, or at least spend a little bit of time talking about why it's important that we create a vision board. So for me, I have my whiteboard back here. I've just kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and I'm kind of waiting until this weekend so I can wipe down all my 2017 goals just in case I happen to hit any more of them in the next day or two, and then kind of reset those and put my goals up there for 2018. And I actually went through and made a list of my 2018 goals last night, and I actually got pretty detailed, and I wanted to share a couple of them with you guys just because, like, the specifics of our goals, like, they have to be very specific, because if they're not, then, saying like, I think I want to hit like diamond next year. I think I want to, earn $500 a month. But we need to know why, why is that an important goal to you? And not only that, but the action steps that it's going to take to get there is something that we need to be aware of too. So for me, one of my goals is to increase my income monthly by at least $250 to $500 a month for the duration of the year. So of course, I would like to see upwards of $500 a month, and then continue that increase every month until the end of the year. And I know that it's going to take me recruiting more coaches. It's going to take me sending more messages, increasing my contacts, and being consistent with the value that I'm putting out there on social media, and just following up with those people. One of the goals that I put on here kind of makes me nervous a little bit, is to maybe do the Beachbody Classic in Indianapolis. And that's something that Luke, he's coming to, and he's like, we should do it together. And I'm like, that's crazy scary. Do a team retreat. And I have been looking and possibly reserved a place for this summer. More to come on that later. Pay for the 2019 Success Club trip in Beachbody earnings. Take this team to a top 500 team. Sign 2 working coaches per month for the entire year. Do a Disney trip for our family and be able to pay for that in cash through my Beachbody earnings. Have a goal for 150 pounds lost for my challengers for the entire year. Help my mom and dad lose 25 pounds apiece. 3-star diamond by the end of the year. So like some big things on there that are a little bit scary, but knowing that when you put those bigger goals out there and you put them where you can see them, it kind of like having my whiteboard up here, and I can see my goals every day. And then I'm using that as a place to write down all of my new December clients. So that way I know, to continue to follow up with them in January, and just keeping those things in your vision as, in your workspace, as you sit down to work, whether you do it on a whiteboard or a poster board, and you do, cutouts from magazines or anything like that. But having a place where you can visualize those goals, and then, to put them onto paper or whatever. But then the hard work comes in the action steps that it takes to get there. So as you think about, each goal that you're setting for the upcoming year, whether it's business, personal, and I think that Mel Robbins worksheet is really great to kind of use too. But to think about what the action steps are going to be to get there. So like, knowing that like, hitting diamond is a great goal, but that requires 8 coaches, and 2 of each, should be working coaches unless you're putting coaches under your spouse or your mom or whatever. But knowing that, okay, if I send out 10 invites, usually one person says yes. So, I could potentially get to diamond in a month if I send out 100 invites and sign all of those people up as coaches, even though they're not working the business. And then recruiting, I need to find working coaches. So I need to do more recruiting posts. I need to talk a lot more about the coaching opportunity. I need to do more coach sneak peeks. I need to be following up with my challengers who are just rocking it and telling them, hey, listen, like you could totally do this too. And just kind of pumping people up, doing those, weekly coach apprenticeship things where we're talking to coaches and giving them kind of a sneak peek into what being a coach is like for a week, and just staying consistent. And I think that's probably the hardest thing for a lot of us is the recruiting aspect of things, because it's really vulnerable to say, hey, I'm a coach and I really think you should do this too. And know that like, it's not an easy task, but just getting out of that comfort zone and talking to people. I have a challenger who just signed up as a coach yesterday, and I thought that she was just signing up for the discount. She's military. She, I sent her the waiver and she messaged me back last night and she's like, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited to start talking to people about Beachbody and joining our groups and stuff. And I'm like, what? Like you never told me this. So just, even those conversations that, and misconceptions too, thinking that, being a coach means you absolutely have to work the business, and it doesn't. But apparently in her mind, I was telling her, you need to sign up to be a coach because you get the discount, and you're military, so you don't have to pay the monthly fee. And she's now finally ready to be a coach after, a year of not getting the $15 waived for military. And now she's ready to work the business. And I'm like, why have you not told me that? Like we've had multiple conversations about it. So anyway, so just kind of breaking those misconceptions. And then again, talking to those current challengers who are, and I sign a lot of people up first time as coaches. I just tell them, listen, like you're going to get 25% off in the future. Even if you pause your Shakeology, cancel, whatever, there's no penalties to cancel. And I kind of think that takes a little bit of the sting out of like telling somebody that they're going to sign up to be a coach. So January news on our radar. The Diamond Insider just came through this morning, and there's a few things just to touch on. So just going back real quick, we'll try to do like a vision board-ish call next weekend, talk a little bit more about those, what's put on your vision board and stuff. So anyway, January 8th, the nutrition plan comes out. Success Club trip invites usually go out between January 8th and January 18th. January 14th is UK Super Saturday. That's not something we need to, I just copy and pasted from the Diamond Insider this morning. I didn't look through the UK stuff. And then of course, the workouts launch on January 14th. So that gives basically 2 weeks and 2 days to hit Success Club in January too. And I know that seems a little bit overwhelming, but, you're pushing hard the end of this month. That doesn't mean, if you hit Success Club today or yesterday or last week or whatever, that you take your foot off the gas, because there are so many people between now and January 14th that are going to look for something, that are going to look for a gym membership. They're going to look for somebody on social media that's going to tell them what to do. They're going to listen to their crazy friend that's going to tell them to do keto. They're going to listen to, their mom who did Weight Watchers. And, all these things are going to, that somebody wants to lose 20 pounds this year. Is going to be on their radar. So now is the time that we buckle down and we don't take our foot off the gas. We keep pushing and we just push through and know, you know what, like Success Club's going to happen, yes or no, but if at the end of the day, you can look at yourself and say, have I done the things that I need to do today to get me to my goals? And what a great feeling it is. And those of you that have done it before know it. When you can hit Success Club 5 or 10 in the first week or two of the month, and then you don't have to stress the end of the month, you know? And that's been me so many times that I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I would have just done the invites at the beginning of the month, like if I would have just done the follow-ups, if I would have just, and having a case of the would have justs like is the worst thing in the world, because you're like, like, why didn't I? So this time of year, excuse me, guys, this time of year with people looking for consistency, looking for support, looking for accountability. And especially we kind of have that little grace period with 2 weeks of prep for 80-day obsession. And your challengers don't have to do 80-day obsession, but this is a really great chance for you to talk up a program. And even if they don't decide to go with 80-day obsession, okay, you can still jump into my, New Year, whatever group. So just continue to talk that up, almost daily, to a point where not that you're annoying anybody, but you're consistent with your workouts. What's so nice about Facebook and Instagram stories is that it goes away after 24 hours. So you can post in there daily. Like, I got my workout done. I feel amazing. I'm so pumped to add so many more people to my group, or, make a list of 10 people and as you're, signing people, even if they're previous challengers, start saying, 9 spots left, 8 spots left, 7, and just continue to go down the line, and just get people pumped up. And when you have somebody new, put them in the group and shout them out and tell them congratulations. And people that have ordered their Shakeology, shout them out within the group. And just continue to, who gets a sinus infection 3 weeks ago and then it comes back like I'm a mess. But shout them out and just recognize that people are joining, and that you have a couple new people this month, or your previous challengers. And I think something that we'll talk about down the line, but I think another health bet probably would be a good idea to do in like February or March, just to get people revved up again that haven't done 80-day obsession. So the 15th is when everything officially starts and launches. If you have anybody doing 80-day obsession, I would say you've got to start it with us on the 15th, or you're going to kind of do it on your own, because, and I mean, that sounds kind of crappy, but we're all going to be on the same, those of us that are doing 80-day obsession, we're going to be on the same schedule. So starting it a week late, I would just tell people, listen, you're going to have to follow your own calendar, because you shouldn't really skip around, and you can still join my other challenge group and start it on your own pace. But this is the official start date for all of us. And then just a couple other little things on there. So Summit Team Beachbody Cup Summit Edition. I'm not really sure about that, but there's an FAQ here. So just some success tips. Treat your business like it's a business. Showing up daily, and tracking is, you guys, I feel like we've all failed as a team with tracking. We have notebooks and we have binders and we have, I know Kelly, you're on it with the tracking sheets that you make. But there's not a consistent system that works. And I'll say failing lightly, because there's things that work for different people, and that's fine. But I'm a train wreck with tracking. I use a notebook and sometimes a spreadsheet, and sometimes both, and sometimes neither. And it's the consistent habits. The next one is something that I totally struggle with. So and every month this year, I'm like, okay, October 1st, I'm going to start doing this, and this is what I'm going to do for the month. And come October 15th, I'm like, I'm back to my notebook. Or, I stick with my notebook, and then I stop doing the highlighting thing that I was doing. So reevaluate and change. If it's not working for you, then then try something else. But today I want to give you guys a tutorial on how to make a working spreadsheet for your business that you can literally sit down at your computer. And when you sit down at your computer, you can go, okay, this is what I need to do today. And you can check off your little boxes. So I did want to touch on goal setting. And I think this is important for you to know. And if you use that Mel Robbins worksheet, that's a really great start. But as far as your Beachbody business too, some really important goals to think about, or some things to think about that will help you with setting your goals. What are you passionate about outside of your home life? What are some things that you love to do that make you the person that you are, that you like to share on social media, that connects you with other people that have similar interests? What is your purpose? What is your purpose with this business? Why are you coaching? What is your goal for being a coach? Is it, and it's not a rank goal. Josh Coates was talking about it on that webinar, and he just was saying, you know, if you set your goals based on rank, it's easy to get tripped up in the numbers. But if you set the numbers as far as rank goes, but if you set your goals based on, like, you know, I need to help X amount of people, and I want to see my volume grow, and I want to see my income grow, and knowing that, you know, yeah, rank will come as you meet those other goals, but setting your goals based on what you can accomplish, what you want to accomplish. And yeah, you can have that rank goal in there to kind of meet as a benchmark, but the consistent day in and day out habits is what is going to help get you to that point. What is life like 5 years from now? You know, where do I see myself in 5 years? What do I want? You know, am I coaching? Am I, you know, earning 6 figures? Am I, you know, matching my current salary? Am I paying off my car? What does financially free look like? You know, is that credit card debt, student loan debt, taking a trip with your family every year and not putting it on a credit card? Just little things like that, not having to worry about checking your bank account before you go get groceries. I know that was like the biggest thing for me, is like, can we buy groceries this week? Like, how much can I spend at the grocery store? Do I need to transfer anything out? Do I need to use a credit card? And then who will keep me accountable? Who am I going to talk to on a regular basis that's going to help keep me on track with my goals? And one of the things that I really like doing is either like a group text or like a pod, like a working pod of coaches that have similar goals. And they don't have to be all within our team. They can be within, you know, the Dream Team or Forever Fit, and we can, you know, post in there, or you can post in there that you're looking for a few coaches with some similar goals, and then just getting into a Facebook Messenger, like texting pod, and just keeping each other accountable and bouncing ideas off of each other. And sometimes it's helpful to have somebody from another team who's kind of at a similar stage in their business, just to be able to talk to. And then ultimately having 3 to 4 main business goals, but your one big goal, because all of those other things are going to come when you achieve that one big goal. So if, you know, if your big goal is, I don't want to use my credit card at all in 2018 because I want to be able to earn, you know, $800 a month as a coach. Then your other goals will be, okay, I need at least 500 PV in volume every month. I need to, you know, hit Success Club 10 every month. I need to increase my income by $50 every month. And, you know, I need to, you know, recruit at least one working coach every month. Those are some goals that will help you get to that main big goal. So as you're goal setting, as you're writing out your goal worksheets, as you're thinking about that vision board, just some things there to think about and include. Does anybody have any questions or anything? I feel like my brain is just kind of crazy. Where is let me go into my Google Forms. Okay. So Google Sheets is like basically like, if you're not using Google Drive, I really recommend it. Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Pages, or Google Docs. Google Sheets is kind of like the, what is it called? What am I thinking of? Like the Excel. It's like Excel. So this is a way that you can create and save and not have to go in and save your document. And you can create a 2018 working document. So you don't have to do this right now, or you can open it up on your computer and do it right now. And I'm just going to go through a few things on how to set this up for success for long term. So you can customize this and put in, you can do this, like you can create new tabs down here, and you can do one for January, February, March, the whole year. Or if you're somebody who you have to see it all on one screen, then you can do it, like January, and then do week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And I personally, I like the idea of just doing a January tab and then doing them separately and following through that way. So I have so as far as consistency goes, I have a little thing here, tactics for consistency, that, hold on, let me scoot this over. Okay, can everybody see my screen okay? You guys good? So, oh gosh, come on. Am I still there?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to want to have, let's say we're doing week 1, and these are your business building activities. So some things and this is like daily habits or weekly habits. So okay, my goal is to recruit 5 coaches each month. Or let's say 2 coaches each month, because maybe you're at you're where you are in your business, that would be a really good goal for you. And I'm not talking to everybody on this call, I'm just talking in general. Where did it go? Okay, so here's your goal. I don't like that this isn't coming up. So about 2 times a month, let's think about some things that you would do that would help you recruit 2 coaches a month. 2 times a month business opportunity call. So we usually try to do them on a Wednesday night. So knowing that you have that on your calendar. So whether you have a planner or a desktop calendar, 2 times a month, and the calendar that I post in the team, we're going to do a business opportunity call. And your goal would be to invite 5 coaches to that business opportunity call. So 2 times per month. So that can be week 1. All right, so week 1, yep, I did it. I did my business opportunity call this week. Week 3, there, I did it. 10 coaching invites per week. Okay, so as you go in and do them, and maybe you're using a notebook that you track the people that you talk to, or maybe you're using a separate sheet like this, or maybe you want to add in a tab here and put, new contacts, new coaching contacts. But as you go in, check off this document. Okay, I did 5 invites this week. And for everyone, and you can use this from your phone if you have the Google Drive app on your phone. And then 1 coaching post per day. So what's going to help me recruit coaches is talking about the coaching opportunity. So as you do that each day, and then you can set like you can set your planner, or if you have one of those Target, like, tear off weekly calendars, you can write on your days, okay, on Tuesday, I want to talk about such and such. So that way, you know what you're posting about, and it takes the guesswork out of what you're posting on social media. And it doesn't have to be a call to action, but it just needs to be something talking about the business opportunity, talking about, your challenge groups, talking about something that somebody achieved on your team. It doesn't have to be you personally. You can talk about, this call. You can talk about, how your team is doing. You can talk about, somebody lost 5 pounds this week. But something that's talking about how you coach, what being a coach is, what you're doing. One call to action per week. So that is, you're talking about you're inviting to the coaching opportunity. You're, looking for 2 women who, want to put in a little extra time each day to earn some income every month. Little things like that. If you don't have a WooFoo form yet for coaching, I would really recommend putting that in place sometime this month, just to make a WooFoo form for coaching. And I have a WooFoo form that I use that I can send if you want to take a look at it. And then if you're doing a Facebook Live page, 1 time a month, do a coaching ad. And I can do ad training too. So that is, that's recruiting goals. So if you have goals for like call to action, workout, Shaco on Insta story. So what is this one for? This is for like challenge groups. So like challenge group, Success Club goals. So if your goal is like SC5, and I will tell you, Melanie said this on the live video yesterday, that she said SC5 is a great goal to hit every month. Like if you hit SC5 every month this year, you're probably going to get an invite to the Success Club trip. That is awesome. If you really want to see your income and your business grow, then bump up that number, whether it's SC8, SC10, SC20, set a big scary goal and you will see your income jump up. Like guys, I'm not going to lie. I set my goal for SC25 this month. And I was going to get myself to 20 and get my husband to 5. And I got myself to 20 and I've got one that I'm signing under him. I've had the greatest income that I've ever had in this business this month. And a lot of it, I can attribute that to the fact that I've been hustling hard and I've been really consistent with my 80-day obsession group. And I've been going back and messaging and following up with those people from earlier this year who had interest. And some of them have come around and said yes. But setting that big goal, and usually my goal is SC10 every month. And I'm like, okay, like I'm just getting by. Like I can do this. But I've fallen into a comfort zone of, I only need to recruit 5 people this month, 5 new people, and I can do that. But when I set it a little bit higher and pushed a little bit harder, my income it's grown by like 800 this month. And that's a culmination of a lot of things, but that was, for me, that's how I wanted to finish this year. And I knew if I didn't do that, if I didn't try to push myself a little bit harder, and I'm working today, like I'm going to sit down at my computer and I'm going to send out another 20 invites today because I'm going to get Luke to Success Club and Emerald this month. That's one of my goals. And I'm going to push for it until the end of the year. We don't have anything planned this weekend. So I'm going to sit and take a little bit of time each day, today and tomorrow, to try to get that goal met and get that work done. So not being afraid to set that goal a little bit higher. And maybe you're casually working this business, or maybe, you're a hobby coach if you're listening to the recording, too. And maybe your goals aren't quite that big. That's okay. I'm not saying that you have to hit SC10 every month and that you have to stress yourself out, and, work. No, I'm just saying, like, if you've set light goals in the past, but you have bigger goals for this year, then maybe it's time to step them up a little bit. and push yourself out of that comfort zone and see what you can really do and what you're really capable of. So, so challenge group goals, knowing that usually for every 10 people you invite, one person says yes. So if you have a goal of recruiting 10 people each month, then you need to send out 100 invites. So, so let's see, let's break that down. That's 10 invites a day for 10 days. Well, that's not bad if you think about it that way. So basically like 1 to 3 invites a day for the week, depending on how many days that you're working. And if you're working your business for 30 minutes a day, great, knock out those first 5 minutes of sending invites. So let's say invite 2 to 3 people per day to challenge group. What else do I have in here? Follow up with everyone I invited, like previous week. Add 5 new people each day. Send birthday messages. I had a girl last month I sent a birthday message to, and then she messaged me back and she was like, actually, I need to talk to you about health and fitness too, because I really want to do one of your challenge groups. Thanks for messaging me. And I was like, oh, okay. I was just trying to tell you happy birthday. So you never know who is following you and who is watching. Posting 3 times a day. Now, I know like a lot of people always ask, like, do I really need to post all the time on social media? Like, do I really need to, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's all the time, and don't just post to post, but, you know, adding value. So I'll put in there, add value. Whether that's, you know, sharing a recipe that you just made, or, you know, sharing if you have a favorite makeup product that you love, or a favorite kitchen product that you love, or some kind of food that you always buy at the grocery store that your family loves, you know, sharing little things like that that are valuable tips to you. Stuff with kids that's crazy and things that make your life easier. Any kind of organization tips. People love that stuff. And just sharing those little things, just little tidbits about your life that, and it doesn't always have to be fitness and nutrition, and Shakeology and Beachbody. That should be like the, you know, 1/3 of what you're posting on social media. The rest should be about life and mom and work and health and, you know, all of the everything that comes in between. But I feel like the more consistent that we are with this, the more consistent we see our business grow. And does anybody have any questions? I know I'm just kind of going. Weekly transformations. That has to be a must. Like every Tuesday, Fearless Friday, you know, Warrior Wednesday, whatever it is, at least once a week, you should be sharing some form of a transformation, whether it's yourself, and it doesn't have to be a side-by-side, whether it's, you know, a challenger, whether it's another one of us on the team, or I've shared multiple 80-day obsession transformations within my like group and on my posts and on my page. And I had a Woohoo outcome from one last week. So I don't feel like it needs to be somebody that you know, even like you can always just share. I know Erica Sisson, she's on the Forever Fit team. She posts a Transformation Tuesday every Tuesday. And more often than not, it's like a random Beachbody person that she found on the website and just cropped it to make it look like, you know, it was somebody's picture that they sent to her. And then she just talks about, you know, she's like, oh my gosh, check out this chick. She's been killing it in the challenge group. She never says that it's her challenge or anything. But if you're stumped and you need to post something, you can always ask in our team or Forever Fit or the Dream Team if somebody has a transformation / you know, testimony they want to share. And then you can always share that too. So weekly transformation. If I can type. 10 new messages each day, 10 reconnects, and then inviting, like I've got 5 on here, inviting 2 to 3 people a day. So it depends on your goals for the month. And then, sharing workout Shaco on stories. So like your Insta stories, your Facebook stories. What's nice now, if you have a business page linked to your Instagram account, you can just share I share my Insta stories over to my Facebook business page stories every time I post one. So that way it automatically goes to my Facebook in my business page stories. So let's say like 5 new connections each week. And then I did say 5 new contacts each day. Each day, each week, just depending on your goals. And then as you do these, go in and mark your X's off. So that way you're seeing like what your consistency looks like by the end of the month. And you can say, you know what, like I obviously am slacking in the adding 5 new contacts area. I'm obviously slacking in the, I've only done, 1 transformation this month or whatever it is. So that is a way that you can help kind of visualize the action steps that you need to take for, recruiting coaches, for working towards Success Club, working towards those other goals. So then I wanted to touch on volume too, because volume is pretty important when we're talking about income and seeing your volume continue to grow. So personal volume, a big goal, and I posted, I know Michaela and Sarah had hit over 500 this month. And Kelly, I think you probably are now too, because you signed somebody before I did that post. So that should put you over. Anytime somebody orders a challenge pack, just a regular old challenge pack, I think is 135 PV, personal volume. And that's if they order as a customer. Then that's your customer volume. You get that PV. If they order as a coach, then that doesn't show up in your personal PV, but it shows up like in your team volume. So when you have a customer order, so say you want to have a 500 volume month, that's a great place to start, 500 volume month. And then as you continue to hit that 500 volume month, then bump that up to a 250 volume week and try to double that. So that way, so 135 PV would be like a challenge pack. So that would be what, guys? Three challenge packs, 4 challenge packs a month to hit that 500 PV benchmark. Now, if you're signing people up as coaches, yes, you're still going to get the Success Club points, but you're not going to see that volume reflect in your own personal volume. You'll see it reflect in your team volume. And that'll show up like on whichever leg you sign that coach on. So if you're, same thing for income. If you want to increase your volume, then you need to say, okay, like I want to have a 500 volume month this month because it's going to increase my income exponentially, not just now, but long term, especially if I'm signing coaches. So I know that I need to sign at least 4 people with a challenge pack this month. Well, not only is that going to help your volume grow, but that's going to get you to your Success Club points too. And if you can sign 1 person a week for the month, perfect. You've hit your goal of volume and you've hit your Success Club goal too. So when you kind of look at volume and how you can reflect on that too. Same thing with your team as you have, coaches that are coming in your downline that are working the business, helping them get to that, setting that benchmark for, a really great goal would be 300 PV this month. That means you're having, 3 new clients on Shakeology HD or with the challenge pack, and you're still hitting Success Club and, you're hitting your Emerald rank at least. And then you're going to start seeing those weekly cycle bonuses. So volume is really something to pay a little bit of attention to. I had an image, let me see if I can pull it up, that I wanted to share with you guys. Is this it? On volume. So here is a picture of my cycles over the course of a few days. As a Star Diamond Coach, your weekly cycle bonus goes from, as an emerald, it's 14 per cycle. As a ruby, it's 16. And as a diamond, star diamond, it's 18 per cycle. So that doesn't seem very significant, does it? Like if you are, your left volume uses 200, or your strong leg uses 200, then your weak leg uses 100 volume. If you generate that volume, and I know this can be a little bit confusing, but if you generate 200 volume on one leg and 100 on the other, then that's a cycle. So that's $18 in your pocket. I have this gigantic, strong left leg over here, as you can see by this volume. Like if I could just, you think about it, like if I could generate 500,000 PV on my right leg, then this would be, how many cycles would that be? That would be like 200 grand in my pocket. But I need to build my weak leg. So this shows you here. So I've got 3 cycles. I was able to cycle 3 times on this day. So that's 18 times 3. I was able to generate another cycle this day, 2 more cycles this day, 3 more cycles, and so on and so forth. So you can see just in a matter of days, the volume that has been generated in my strong leg and my weak leg. And then you always carry it over if you hit more than 100. So, I had this over here, I had this over here, and I was able to carry over 25. So that just continues. So that just goes to show you, it doesn't seem like a lot initially, and it's not initially as a newer coach and you're building your volume. It's not very much at all. But as you continue to build and grow, and you continue to have these cycles, it's not going to be just once a week. It's going to turn into a few times a day, a week, and as you generate that volume, it automatically cycles for you. So that's not something that you have to worry about. But I just wanted to show you guys that, because that's kind of what these numbers mean, what these cycles mean, and what it looks like to kind of generate volume. And then that does carry over. And this is your 200 on one leg and your 100 on the other. So as this generates a cycle, like you can see, I had 437 here, 337, 237, 137, and it always carries it over with each cycle that you generate. Does that make sense? A little confusing. I don't even see, is there anything in the chat bar? I can't even tell. Okay. So paying a little bit of attention to volume and knowing that, as long as you are meeting some of those goals too, then you're going to see your other goals follow. This kind of goes in conjunction with the leadership ladder. In our back office, if you can look at the leadership ladder underneath, like where the home screen is in your back office, that kind of shows you, like, here's what your team leader needs to be. You need to be at X rank, this many coaches in Success Club, not in Success Club, but with Success Club points, and volume and income to kind of meet those benchmarks and move through the leadership ladder. So a couple other things just to touch on. So if you have other goals, and we can kind of work through those in this sheet, I'm not going to put them all on here. Like to grow your Instagram account by X amount, then these are some things you need to do. You need to be, in tune with your hashtags. I can't say enough about using hashtags on every post. You get to use 30 hashtags on every Instagram post. And I use hashtags that are relevant to me. Target style, wine, mom of girls, moms who work out, moms who lift weights, little things like that. And then I search through those hashtags, and I look for other people that are similar to me that aren't a Beachbody coach already. And I click on them, and I, kind of look through their page. I like a few of their posts, comment on a couple, and add them, or follow them. Once you get to 10,000 people on your Instagram, you have this awesome swipe up feature where you can say swipe up, and it'll like take them to a link. But, using that search tool every day to add new people on Instagram. And that's what's so nice about Instagram is there are so many people that use Instagram, and a lot of them are, and what I found is they already have either Beachbody On Demand or they have a coach who's quit, and they've either they have DVDs, or anybody that I talk to about Beachbody, they're like, yeah, like, I never really had accountability, or they bought it from Amazon, or there's somebody who's kind of into fitness and has never really had the consistency. So Instagram is a great resource to tap into, and if you're using it, great, keep using it and continue to spend a little bit of time. And that's something you can put on this document too, is spend an hour each week just learning about Instagram. Lewis Howes is a great guy. Do a free training from him. He talks a little bit about Instagram. Going onto YouTube and searching a little bit about Instagram and Instagram training and stuff. Doing that daily call to action in your Instagram stories. I look at my Instagram stories and I see about 100-ish viewers for each one. And a lot of them are people that I may not connect with, but they are sure following me and seeing what I'm up to behind the scenes. So making sure that you have that extra connectability. And that's like with Facebook stories too, just to put those in there and kind of share behind the scenes. It's not a live video necessarily. And it's only a minute long. So just sharing those little bit of things behind there too. And then just the accountability portion, keeping yourself on your toes, that gut check every week, that checking in, our weekly calls, and we can use this kind of a document. You can make something similar. I can post a link to it if you want to copy and paste this, but make this specific to your own personal goals. And if you need help making a document like this, I'm more than happy to help you with, what are some things that you can put in these columns that are going to work for you. And you can do it, January, you can do it, you can run all the way down and do week 1 through 4 for the whole year, just on one sheet, or, do the tabs like I was talking about. But yeah, so I hope this helps. Does anybody have any questions about that, or making a document like that, or anything? So I will post the recording. I'll also post a link to this document, and then we'll kind of just go from there. But I would really encourage, and this is a great way to visualize and to be able to go in and edit. If you are somebody who likes to put names in there, you can work that into your document as well. You can, if you want to do 3 invites a day, then you can do that in here by adding in separate columns, like underneath. Tracy, coaching ads. Okay. We can talk a lot about that too. And that's something we can do, like a separate call on Facebook ads specifically, and running ads. I'd be more than happy to do that for like pages and stuff. And I think that's it. So yeah, yay, Happy New Year. Anybody have anything they want to cover, touch on, ask about before we wrap? No? All right, ladies. Well, you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend. Safe travels, and have a very, very Happy New Year, guys. Let's keep rocking this month out, and we're going to finish strong, right? All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.